they like the ability to change the weather. And you know, if it gets too cold, we go further south.
If you don't like the weather where you are, go somewhere else.
Today we're going to discuss some of our full-time RVing fears. As some of you know, we are going to start our full-time RV journey in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, so we're going through a lot of the planning phase and cleaning out and getting ready to go.
So we've got all this stuff in our yard and I don't really even know what any of it is.
But hopefully people take it.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of research and watched a bunch of other full-time RV YouTube channels and gone on to blogs and all kinds of information that we've consumed. But
yeah,
until we get on the road, we're not really sure. There's some uncertainty, obviously, and I think once you start, there's going to be uncertainty. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about some of those concerns and fears.
And share some of those resources that we've found really helpful from people who are actually doing the full-time RVing lifestyle already. Some have families, some are just couples. We've seen some people who are just by themselves. They have dogs, cats, you know, all kinds of age ranges. So there's a lot of resources out there. If it's something you've ever thought about doing, you'll get some great ideas on some channels today.
Yeah, and you can learn from other people's mistakes.
Hopefully.
And from their successes as
well.
well.
Hopefully we won't have any mistakes for them to learn from.
Kind of makes it a little smoother road for us, hopefully.
One of those things that I'm kind of concerned about is how do we get ourselves out of vacation mode? And that seems frivolous, but honestly, up to this point in our lives, the only time we've taken our RV or gone camping
like vacation
is vacations. Yeah. And even up to a month we've gone, so 3-4 weeks of a vacation. So
so you have a whole different mindset when you're okay, I have 2 weeks, I have 3 weeks or whatever, kind of checking out from sort of responsibility and from work and from all these other obligations, and we're just going to have fun and go, you know, sightseeing and all that. Obviously you can't do that 24/7, 365.
Nice, but no.
And you know, we're going to need to get ourselves into this is our life, and we need to work and be organized and disciplined during the day. Oh man, she's gonna scratch your new coat.
We've had Pepper out here with us, popping in, and now there's Alexandra. So yeah, but with the, how do you get out of vacation mode? I mean, I'm gonna wanna go biking and hiking and just sightseeing. And so it may take, especially, because it's already cold here, it's in the 30s in Pennsylvania. And the first place we're going to be going probably in January when we start our trip is to Florida. We're going to be chasing warm weather.
Yeah.
I like that. On one of the other channels that we've watched, they said, you know, they like the ability to change the weather. And, you know, if it gets too cold, we go further south.
If you don't like the weather where you are, go somewhere else.
That's what we're gonna do. It's going to be really hard in the beginning because we're going to be leaving the cold weather and going to nice warm Florida and some beaches, and so it may take us a few weeks to get out of vacation mode.
Like, yay, we're going to be all outside doing all this stuff. And like, wait a minute, we have work to do.
Yeah.
We have to.
And the bills will hit, and we'll be like, oh, that's right.
we need to start generating some revenue and things like that. So plus with homeschooling, we also have that obligation that we have to make sure we keep ourselves and the kids on track with homeschooling, because when you're at a nice state park or something and you have some sightseeing you want to do, it would be really easy, I think, to get sidetracked and prioritize that stuff over the school and
well, especially for the kids. But although we have, you know, when we've gone on extended trips for 3 and 4 weeks, we have done homeschooling because we've had to keep up with it when it's that long of a trip.
Yeah, so even not just once we're at the destination, even if it's a 6 or 8 hour drive to where we're going, we have laptops, we have you know, cellular connection, we're hooked to the internet. They can do their school on the car rides on the way to where we're going, so they can maybe get a lot of stuff out of the way. Yeah. You know, during those trips where you're just sitting in the RV or the car anyway.
That's the plan. What concerns do you have when we're going to be full-time RVing, besides you're going to miss your friends and family?
Yeah.
I got one. I don't like when we're driving in the RV, like on back roads, the RV like shakes so much. And like bumps up and down and like shakes, and I don't like it.
Yeah, the RV is not like a great handling vehicle.
No.
It's great. I mean, it's good. It's actually really good.
Vehicle.
Yeah, it's actually really good on the highway. It doesn't bounce a lot. It doesn't sway. You know, even when trucks are going by, it's very stable. But on the back roads, when you have the winding and the sort of elevation, like twisty side-to-side bumps and you just have to go slow because it really is. I mean, it's a house on wheels. So
Yeah.
All right. So one of the other concerns that we have is with we mentioned it's sort of a house on wheels. It's also a house on wheels with an engine and a transmission and an electrical system and plumbing and I mean all that other stuff that could go wrong. So, and you know, when you're in an RV and that's what you're living in, if you have to get it into the shop to get the transmission fixed or a leak repaired or things like that, where do you live then? So that's something we've looked it up. I mean, we're planning in the budget some hotel stays.
Yeah, if we'd have to stay at a hotel, but the expense of getting the RV fixed is huge.
Yeah, there's the expense
so that
of it.
crashes the budget.
Where are you going to live? Or, you know, if you're out in the kind of the middle of nowhere, can you find a service center that's trustworthy and it's going to do a good job? That's
trustworthy because that's all our stuff then, you know, like our whole life will be in that RV. But yeah, so that is one of our big concerns. We found a lot of information though watching some of these other full-time RV channels because inevitably you're going to have breakdowns, you're going to have problems. So on one of the channels, Less Junk, More Journey, they are a young couple. They have a daughter who's about 4. And they are a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And
they really
you know, so
lot.
we've watched some of their videos. One that I really liked was called "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly" about full-time RVing, and that covers a lot of kind of our concerns. And one of them is, you know, what if you break down, and what if you have problems?
One of the other things we had to consider, and kind of a concern, is how. Hey, it's Mr. Smooth. I can't see.
No,
you don't have to.
We can't see. We are trying.
Actually,
What is Mr. Smooth's concern?
nothing.
About
Mr. Smooth
RVing?
has
You
no
got him from
fears.
Lower, I think.
He has no fears, really.
Mr. Smooth
Oh,
has
okay.
no fears. My friend Jared, quite a few of it.
What are Mr. Smooth's fears again?
Nothing.
Okay, well, what about his friend Jared?
Yeah, he's afraid of earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and spiders and snakes and bugs.
Okay, then.
And tomatoes.
It's kind of an extensive list. So what Mr. Smooth you're trying to say about Jared is like he doesn't want to go to like California or anywhere out west where
That was not explicitly stated.
where a tornado may hit, or Florida or any of the coast where there could be a hurricane. So we're very limited to a small space with Jared.
Yeah,
On
back
to
to the
what we
next
were doing.
topic.
Come on, puppy dog.
One of the things we had
Come on, dear.
to think about was how are our precious fur babies going to do
Yes.
in the RV full time?
The cuteness. There's the cuteness. There it is. But yeah, so they have always gone camping and RVing with us. So they do fairly well. But long term, one concern, of course, is if there's a problem and, you know, a vet or if we'd need something like that. But I think that's standard for any of us if we have
we
an
can
injury or
always
whatever,
probably find
finding
a
a
vet.
doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
But Carmel especially has a tendency to bark.
Yeah.
She's got
she
part
barks a
hound in her.
lot.
And so if she hears something, sees something, just something bothers her, she'll give out her hound dog bark.
Yeah. So if we're in an RV park or state park or whatever, and there's, you know, fellow travelers nearby,
Yes.
they'll be hearing them, and hopefully the dogs aren't going to be barking all the time. You know, kind
Yeah.
of making a ruckus and generally disturbing everybody's peace and quiet.
Yeah, they have their moments, and especially when we're gone. I think that's our main concern. If we go out biking, you know, we're gone like 2 or 3 hours, and they're stuck in the RV by themselves, are they gonna be just going crazy with the like, oh, I heard something, and barking?
And hopefully they won't be scratching at the blinds and doing that.
Well,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
that's Brian's fear, is the dogs are going to destroy the interior of the RV. But they don't do that in the house. They don't chew. They don't really go after anything. And one of the channels that had a really good video recently is Keep Your Daydreams. And that's a couple that's been traveling around for a while. And they actually have a video titled RVing, Full-Time RVing with Dogs, I think it's called. And that has a lot of great ideas and talking about dogs. And they show like lots of dogs, you know, because a lot of people do travel with their dogs. That's one of the benefits. That was one of the reasons we first started camping in the first place over 20 years ago, was we like to have the dogs with us and not have to put them in a kennel or something.
Okay, so one of the things with living on the road, full-time RVing, is you don't have one residence where you can have things shipped to you and mailed to you. So we went on, you know, we did some research and figured out for having your mail forwarded. There's services that you can pay for. The mail service will take all your deliveries and forward them to wherever you specify.
Yep.
So as you move along, you just tell them the new address and they forward it. So I guess we could do that, but I think what we're going to do is
for now
in the beginning, just use a family member.
Heads up, family members.
Heads up, family member who is related to me directly
and lives in Ephrata.
And lives, yes, or nearby. We're going to be using their residence. We're going to have that's going to be our permanent address. Mail will go there, and then we can trust these people.
I think we can trust them. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So Brian's parents, we're going to be seeing if it's okay with them.
Yeah. Well, we didn't ask them yet. But
no, but we're making it public now, so now they can't say no.
They can't say no. So we'll have our mail forwarded there. That's our address, and that's going to be our address for like for homeschooling. You have to have residence in the state where you're going through the
and just
the
to
charter
finish
school.
out this school year, we want to keep the residents in this state, and we will be back here. I mean, we do plan to leave in January, but be back for long stretches of time. The kids have to do some testing, state testing and things like that. So we will probably be up here in the colder weather for quite a while in the springtime.
Yeah.
And so, Pennsylvania will basically be our residence. We'd keep it here, except we plan to sell the house. One video that we found that covers, or one channel that covers this, there's been many we've been watching, but the Freedom Theory, and they've been on the road. They're a couple that's been on the road for like 3 years. And so they've got a lot of experiences and different things. So they talk a little bit about mail and how they get their mail and some different things about that. Now, this is a challenge that I must admit I didn't really think about as much. Brian does, but I was watching a channel called Wild on the Go, and they had full-time RV living challenges. And one of theirs was something that I know Brian has talked about. I didn't really think about it, but it would be, where are we going to stay?
Right. Yeah. And then this is kind of I get, she calls me out for worrying too much all the time, and I do, I admit it. But I like to think of it as extreme planning, not worrying.
But you don't really plan. You just worry and
right, no,
stress.
But planning in my head, you think of every possible scenario. So
of what could go wrong.
What could go wrong, or where you're going to go, like where you're going to go at certain times of the year. You don't want to go somewhere when it's going to be cold. You want to make sure you can get reservations, so you look up online.
You just drive there and you find a spot.
How far out do you have to make reservations? Like, what are the restrictions to the RV length at certain
and that's
national
one of the
parks?
reasons we did just get a 35-foot RV here behind us.
33.
Well, we kept it under 35 foot.
Yeah.
It's a 3306. So it's technically like 34, but we wanted to keep it under 35, and that was our limit.
So we weren't as restricted.
So we weren't as restricted, because having camped in state parks a lot over the years, we know they do have restrictions. So that was one thing we thought of in advance.
Yeah.
But
we have to find a balance between my extreme planning and just having it be less stressful and just going places and figuring it out kind of as we go.
Well, and to his point, we do like to stay at state parks a lot. And there's state parks a lot of places, Florida, and we've heard Oregon and things like that, they book up months in advance, especially the weekends. And we've run into this problem the past 3 years because we don't plan way in advance. So it'd be like November, and we're like, hey, we want to go camping to Florida for...
In December.
In like 2 weeks. Let's find some places. And over Thanksgiving, over Christmas, it's next to impossible to find state parks in Florida.
Yeah, and there's also kind of along the same lines of finding places to stay.
Okay.
There's some things you can do for like single night stays, just if you're doing like a 2-day travel. You can either stop at Walmarts. Most of them allow people to camp in their parking lots. We've done that before, which is really convenient.
Just overnight.
You just pull in, set up. I mean, you don't really there's not much setup.
That's like
put
the
the
RV,
slides out.
Set up, yeah.
Make your beds, sleep, and then get up the next morning and go.
And then to be nice, because they let us stay there, we usually go in and we
go shop.
We do some shopping.
Because
that's, we're staying there for free, so that's nice. And also, we will push carts up to where they belong, because we're usually way out in the parking lot. And when I walk the dogs with Alex,
pick up a piece of trash or
Alex
two.
likes to put grocery carts back. So we will get grocery carts and we will put them back in, in their little spot where they go in the parking lot.